Hey there, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me here on Wave Now. I'm Myra Ansari. So we are going live right now to Frankfurt, where Governor Andy Beshear is giving his Team Kentucky update. He's expected to talk about a number of things, including economic development, infrastructure updates, and also the state's response to severe weather. We have had to deal with quite a bit here recently. So this is about to start. So just stand by and wait with me as the governor is about to get started.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Kentucky Update. I am going to kick things off today talking about the 2025 Domestic Violence Data Report and the new interactive dashboard. More than 45% of women and 35% of men in Kentucky experience physical violence or sexual assault in their lifetimes. These are not just numbers, they are our neighbors, men, women, children from every community of our state. We must condemn domestic violence for what it is, a heinous crime that has no place in Kentucky. That is why I am delighted to share a new step Team Kentucky has taken to fight domestic violence. We recently launched an interactive dashboard with domestic violence data, which is available on the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet website. This dashboard allows Kentuckians to filter information to see exactly what is taking place in their counties and in the surrounding areas. We know information is our most valuable tool and resource. It helps us to create real plans to address domestic violence so we can deliver meaningful results. The website allows Kentuckians to more easily view data and learn more about domestic violence shelters and support services. Accurate data is critical in making sure our people get the services that they need, which is why today we're also releasing the 2025 Domestic Violence Data Report. The report shows that domestic violence in the Commonwealth has remained stable from 2024 to 2025. Although I'm glad that it did not increase, I'm also disappointed to see that it has not decreased. More information from the reports includes law enforcement responded to nearly 34,000 incidents involving domestic violence. 8,301 arrests were made for incidents involving domestic or dating violence, and more than 20,000 protective orders were ordered by the courts. More than 14,000 individuals received services from Zero V, and more than 19,000 hotline calls were received through Zero V's regional domestic violence programs. Thank you to our law enforcement officers and staff at our domestic violence shelters for their work. It is hard, it is so needed, and just a big thank you to everybody who helps those in their time of crisis. It takes a tremendous amount of bravery and support for survivors to overcome domestic violence. It's our job to ensure we are there for them with all the resources they need as they begin to heal and move forward. We must also continue to take steps to end the cycles of abuse and violence. This new report is expanding on steps Team Kentucky has taken to end domestic violence. Andy launched the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative from within the Kentucky State Police. He worked with other members of state government to establish the Safe at Home program, which protects the home addresses of survivors of domestic violence so they feel safe and secure in their homes. I've partnered with Zero V for the Shop and Share donation drive each year. This annual event provides food and essentials to domestic violence survivors and their families. Andy has awarded millions of dollars in funding to provide survivor services throughout Kentucky, including through the Violence Against Women Act. And earlier this year, he signed legislation to establish the offense of grooming to better protect our kids and hold offenders accountable. He also signed legislation to enhance Kentucky's stalking laws. To the survivors who are out there and may be listening, I want you to know that there is help. You are brave, and your courage will get you and your family to better days. You are not alone. We are here to support you. Together, we can support survivors, raise awareness around the signs of abuse, and end violence in our community. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe in this heat. And now I'm going to turn it over to Andy.
Thank you to Brittany, and thank you to everybody working to end cycles of domestic violence and to ensure that everyone can be safe in their own home. This week, we're experiencing some dangerously hot and humid weather. Heat indexes in some area are reaching as high as 115 degrees. We've been getting the word out, but it's worth repeating again. Folks need to be careful. First, stay hydrated. Wear light clothing. Stay in the air conditioning as much as possible. Avoid going outdoors during the warmest hours. Bring your pets inside. And check vehicles before locking the doors to make sure no children and no pets are still inside. Temperatures at this level are dangerous. They are even deadly. That's why we set up cooling centers across the state for those in need. Because with temperatures this hot, power outages can become a real concern, and some simply can't afford to keep that AC on at the level that it may be needed. If you can't access a cool, safe place, please visit one of the cooling centers across the state. Sites are listed on the map on the screen, which can be accessed at the Kentucky Emergency Management's website. Make sure to check on family, neighbors, or anyone who might need a little help. That's how we work together to keep everyone safe. And that's what we're doing in the areas hit hardest by the floods this past weekend. Just yesterday, I visited the Lake Cumberland area and Richmond, two of the hardest hit communities. Let me tell y'all, the damage is serious, but these Kentuckians are strong, and we're going to be with them every step of the way as we rebuild together. These floods took the lives of 4 people, each one a child of God, taken from us far too soon. As always, the Team Kentucky Emergency Relief Fund is open for donations. 100% of these go directly to survivors, and before anything else, they pay for the funerals of those we've lost. That is one less things for families to have to worry about during such a difficult time. If you'd like to help, the website for donations is on the screen. Right now, our emergency management teams are out conducting damage assessments. This is how we get the information we need to apply for public and individual assistance. That's assistance to counties and cities and utilities for damage. And then the individual assistance is help to families who have suffered damage. This support is going to be essential as we work to recover and to rebuild, and you can help. For those who have damage or lost a home or more, we're asking you to fill out a damage assessment survey. You can access this at the Kentucky Emergency Management site, which is on the screen. It only takes a minute, and it'll help us better understand and respond to your needs. That website has a link to a lot of resources that will be helpful for those affected by the flooding. Now, even though the rain has stopped, we do need everybody out there to be careful. Many roadways and bridges are still closed. Do not drive through high water. Do not ignore signs of road closure. It's not worth the risk. So before you get on roadways in these areas, please check goky.ky.gov for road conditions. This was a tough one, but we are tough people, and we'll get through this challenge the way that we always get through these, and that's together. Team Kentucky is going to be there until every structure is rebuilt. We're going to help every family to the extent that we can. Which brings me to some good news for past disasters. FEMA recently announced it's releasing $189 million through congressionally directed spending for 125 projects across 40 states. This is through the Pre-Disaster Mitigation Program, and I'm happy to share that Kentucky had 2 projects included. First, the city of Frankfort set to receive $5.8 million for the Frankfort Riverbank stabilization. After the floods hit here in Frankfort in April of 2025, we saw just how essential this project is for this community. This funding will help us make progress as we continue to build back stronger for future weather events. Second, Kentucky Emergency Management is receiving $869,000 for a flood monitoring system. Flooding continues to be almost a monthly, but certainly a yearly challenge for the state. And the more we can be prepared, the more lives that we can save. Now, for some much needed good news for Kentucky this week and for that Lake Cumberland area. Despite national headwinds, our economy continues to see major wins. Since beginning this administration, we've now announced more than 1,300 private sector new expansion, new location or expansion projects. We've announced 1,300 economic development projects, totaling over $50 billion in announced investments with over 70,000 new jobs. And this week, we added another signature project to Kentucky's growing bourbon and tourism industries. On Wednesday, I joined local leadership from Horse Soldier Bourbon to celebrate the grand opening of the company's new $200 million distillery and full-scale bourbon tourism attraction in Pulaski County. The new operation called Horse Soldier Farm opens its doors this week, and it includes a 50,000 square foot visitor center along with the Outpost Retail Center. Horse Soldier Bourbon joins Kentucky's signature spirits industry with a backstory that celebrates both our Commonwealth and our country. When this nation needed the most after September 11th, this group of dedicated soldiers answered the call to defend our nation. And now, some 25 years later, the Horse Soldier team has returned to the Commonwealth because they were training in the Lake Cumberland area on September 11th when they got the news. They're bringing back new jobs, award-winning bourbon, and tourism to Somerset. I'd like to congratulate the company leadership on this exciting step, and we look forward to working with them for years to come. Now we've got some even more great news when it comes to our economy. Just last month, we celebrated that 2025 was the best year for economic impact for tourism that Kentucky had ever had. That marked 4 straight years we'd broken the record. In other words, 4 years ago was the best. 3 years ago was then even better. 2 years ago was better than that. And then last year was the best that we have ever had. We are on a roll when it comes to tourism. In 2025, we welcomed more than 81 million travelers to Kentucky. These visits had a $14.6 billion economic impact, supporting nearly 97,000 jobs. We're continuing to build on that momentum today with 3 new announcements for our state parks and our historic communities. First, I'm proud to announce that in 2024, Kentucky State Parks generated $1.1 billion in economic impact and supported 8,600 jobs across the Commonwealth. That is great news. This is a first-of-its-kind study that shows how important these state parks are, and we plan to continue to track this progress year in and year out. You know our parks are a great place to visit with family and friends, a great place to make memories. You can get away to hike, camp, fish, boat, and even more. They help businesses grow, they create jobs, and they strengthen communities. And they are here for us in our greatest times of need, after tornadoes, after flooding. When people have nowhere to go, our state parks open their doors and welcome them in. In 2024, our parks welcomed 9.3 million visitors who spent money inside our parks as well as at hotels, restaurants, gas stations, shops, and attractions. The spending helped generate nearly $600 million in direct economic activity, including more than $164 million on lodging, $127 million on food and beverages, and millions more on entertainment, shopping, and transportation. These numbers show why I've made it a priority to invest and reinvest in our state parks. Over the past 6 years, I've signed legislation allocating $213 million for important renovations. Every upgraded lodge, campground, marina, or golf course helps attract more visitors, ensuring our state parks remain destinations for families to enjoy for generations to come. And our work is paying off. We've recently celebrated a number of milestones at different locations. A few weeks ago, we cut the ribbon on the $3.8 million campground renovation at Carter Caves. The project includes a brand new bathhouse, a new campground store, ADA accessible campsites, additional sewer sites, and upgraded electrical and water service throughout the campground. We've got a good news video from that day.
Hey Kentucky, we've got some good news from Carter Cave State Resort Park. The campground renovation project is now complete, making it even easier for families and outdoor enthusiasts to enjoy the great outdoors and help attract even more travelers to Eastern Kentucky. The $3.8 million upgrade includes a brand new campground store and bathhouse, more full-service campsites with sewer hookups, and improved electric and water service throughout the campground. These improvements provide modern amenities and greater convenience for campers while preserving the natural beauty and outdoor adventures that make Carter Cave such a special destination. The project was made possible by legislation signed by Governor Beshear in 2024 as part of a $40 million investment in campground improvements across Kentucky state parks. These investments build on our New Kentucky Home initiative, helping attract more visitors to Kentucky and supporting local communities across the Commonwealth. You can book your next camping adventure at Carter Caves by visiting parks.ky.gov. Follow us for more good news.
So the work hasn't stopped at just one park. We've also completed the $2 million renovation of the recreation center and pool at EP Tom Sawyer State Park. Visitors can now enjoy the upgraded pool, new locker rooms and showers, and upgraded lobby and classroom spaces. At Kinlake State Resort Park, work is underway on a $9.3 million campground renovation. When complete, campers will enjoy 63 full-service campsites, 6 camper cabins with beautiful lake views, a new bathhouse, pull-through sites, additional sewer connections, upgraded electrical and water service, and more ADA-accessible campsites. Construction is also underway at my old Kentucky home State Park, where a $4 million campground renovation will create 39 full-service campsites, an upgraded bathhouse, and 8 new pull-through campsites. At Lake Cumberland State Resort Park, we invested $7.4 million to renovate the lodge and conference center. The project includes upgraded guest rooms, new finishes and furnishings throughout the lodge and guest spaces, and a modernized conference center. We've also got a good news video from Lake Cumberland to share.
Hey Kentucky, we've got some good news from Lake Cumberland State Resort Park. Right now, the park is undergoing a $7.4 million upgrade to enhance your experience and attract even more travelers in the future. Crews are hard at work upgrading guest accommodations, which means you can look forward to upgraded finishings and new furniture in the main lodge, guest areas, and all the lodge rooms. The conference center is also getting a major refresh with updates to rooms, lighting, state-of-the-art audio, and video systems. Structural repairs are underway throughout the park to ensure your visit is comfortable and safe. During these renovations, guests can still enjoy cabin and campground rentals, hiking trails, the disc golf course, the outdoor pool, and the launching ramp at the State Dock. These improvements build on the New Kentucky Home Initiative, helping attract new tourists to the Commonwealth to visit, work, and live. Follow us for more good news.
And at Lake Barkley State Resort Park, work continues on a $17 million renovation that includes important structural and safety improvements, a new roof, upgraded walkway canopies, and a renovated pool and sun terrace. These are just a few of the many projects happening across our Kentucky state parks. Every investment we're making is about creating better experiences and drawing in more visitors, supporting tourism, and strengthening communities in our new Kentucky home. To follow the progress, visit parks.ky.gov/improvements. I want to thank our hard-working park staff for helping to make all this successful and possible. We're grateful for all you do. Finally, in this section, I'm excited to share more good news as we celebrate investments in some of our thriving local communities. These investments help with historic preservation, ensuring important landmarks and more remain for generations to come. This year, 7 communities received $113,500 in federal funding to support preservation projects, including workshops, trainings, events, and community revitalization. Our local governments are also investing nearly $77,000 themselves. Grant recipients included the City of Frankfort for the Home Street Corridor Survey and hosting the 2027 Historic Preservation Conference, the City of Hopkinsville for a Historic Districts Survey, the City of Paducah for a survey and National Register of Historic Places nomination, the City of Newport for a Public Archive and Preservation Commission workshops, the City of Covington for a Northern Kentucky Restoration Weekend event and preservation training for the Covington Academy of Heritage Trade students, the City of LaGrange for outreach and education events, and Boone County for developing countywide design review guidelines. Congratulations to all those communities. We are proud of your work. Next, we have an update on Team Kentucky's County City Bridge Improvement Program. The bridges we rely on every day connect people to their jobs, students to their schools, and families to their communities. That's why it's so important that every bridge in Kentucky is safe, reliable, and ready to serve the people who depend on it. When they're damaged during floods like this past weekend, we work quickly to make repairs. And when they need to be replaced or refurbished, we invest in them through efforts like Team Kentucky's County City Bridge Improvement Program. And I'm excited to announce the program's 7th round of funding, and this year's second. This time it is $5.5 million. This is part of the $25 million this program provides each year to improve travel for Kentuckians. Today, we're announcing funds for 10 projects across 8 counties and 2 cities. The counties include Callaway, Davis, Grant, Grayson, Johnson, Letcher, Perry, and Trigg. And our 2 cities are Louisville and the city of Vine Grove. The funding will repair 2 bridges and replace 8 bridges with new crossings that eliminate lengthy detours and remove weight restrictions. That's a big deal, especially for the 4 counties that have a bridge that is currently closed, that these dollars are going to reopen. To share more about what funding these projects means, we've got a few videos from local leaders. First, we have Davis County Judge Executive Charlie Caslin, whose community is receiving $315,000 for a bridge replacement project on Old Highway 54.
Hi, I'm Charlie Caslin. I'm the Davis County Judge Executive, and I'm here in front of the a bridge on Old Highway 54 on what we call the Hurricane Branch Creek. And this bridge is slated for replacement. We got a grant from the state. I want to say a thank you to Governor Beshear and also for state legislators, both DJ Johnson, Suzanne Miles, Senator Gary Boswell, and Dirk Cooper, our county engineer, for all the work they've done on this project. We have over 200 cars a day go past here as the traffic count. And so this is a needed replacement. This is on the state's inventory list. It's a bridge that's the decking is over 20 feet. And so this is one that the state handles and inspects by federal regulations, is required to be inspected by them, and meets the standards to be replaced. And I'm very appreciative for the funding we've gotten from the state to move forward with this project.
From Vine Grove, we have a video from Mayor Pam Ogden, whose city is receiving $964,000 to replace the closed Otter Creek Road Bridge and eliminate a 3-mile detour.
Hi, Pam Ogden, the mayor, city of Vine Grove. I'm here this morning to talk about Otter Creek Bridge. We received the city-county grant program that Governor Beshear has had with the state, and we were notified that we received that grant this morning to replace Otter Creek Bridge, which has been shut down for a few months now, and we're pretty excited about getting the funding for this because this bridge has an access to 2 roads, a housing area. It's been really bad that it's been closed down and it's not safe to pass. So I'm super excited because we did get the grant, and we will have to come up with part of the funding, but it's definitely not the entire amount. So I appreciate everyone that has worked on this project, including Governor Beshear, Commissioner Bobby Joe Lewis. I appreciate you. State Senator Matt Deneen has been a huge help with us. State Representative Steve Bratcher helped us with this. My staff, everybody who has taken the time and effort to advocate for this grant, who also has taken the time and effort and put work in on this. And my engineer, Bob Woosley, you're amazing. My staff, Jessica Irwin, my city clerk, I know she worked a lot on this. I'm very appreciative. I know that the citizens are. You know, we're a little city, and we have another bridge that we received funding on a few months ago. It's called the Creekville Bridge. It's down the street here a little bit, and it has been approved also for us to replace that bridge. So we have 2 bridges in our city that we are going to get replaced through funding. And thank you very much, Governor Beshear. I am very appreciative.
Thank you to the mayor, the previous judge, and we got one more video from Perry County. Judge Executive Scott Alexander is going to tell us about the $269,000 grant they're receiving to preserve the Fort Branch Road Bridge.
It's another great day here in Perry County, and we are so excited to get to talk about the County City Bridge Program as we're standing here in Fort Branch, looking at a bridge that's going to be replaced by this program. We want to give a huge thanks to Governor Beshear, Team Kentucky, and our legislators for setting up this program that helps rural Kentucky when we face these problems with bridges that we have trouble finding the funding mechanism to replace them. This program is so beneficial to all of us. We could not do this work without them. And so we just want to give a big thank you to everyone involved. We want to give a big thank you to Bobby Joe Lewis and everything that she does for rural Kentucky as well through these programs. Just once again, thank you so much for caring about helping us help our communities and all the homes that this benefits. Thank you.
Well, proud of the great work that our judges and mayors are doing, including today's awards. We've now funded 106 much-needed bridge projects. All right, this week, we've also seen Kentuckians come together as we faced another round of flooding. Since I've been governor, Kentucky has now experienced 15 federally declared weather disasters. I expect this last weekend's flooding to be the 16th. Every disaster comes with its own heartache. It comes with its own set of challenges. And I'd say Kentucky's the best state in the country at responding to natural disasters. That doesn't mean it gets easier for the families that suffer the loss of a loved one, or for Kentuckians who lose their home or have it significantly damaged. Last week, I spoke at the National Disaster Resilience Summit in Arkansas. Emergency management professionals from around the U.S. were there. I spoke about how we've brought in a National Weather Service meteorologist to work inside of Kentucky Emergency Management, how we use every tool to communicate reliable information to our people who need it, how we quickly declare states of emergency, freeing up resources for first responders, and how we were able to pre-position them to be able to jump into action to save people during times of difficulty. I also talked about the promise of rebuilding a town, a region, a set of lives. I pointed to our High Ground initiative in Eastern Kentucky, where we're building 8 neighborhoods across 5 counties, all out of the floodplain, where Kentucky families can be safe. A place where when it rains, people like April Spears at Skyview can enjoy a beautiful rainbow. She took this photo. Skyview is now the site of 30 completed homes, and eventually it'll be over 100. And today we have more good news for Perry County. Today I'm proud to announce that Team Kentucky is providing $1.7 million to the Perry County Fiscal Court to build 5 additional homes out of the floodplain, as well as the necessary infrastructure in the Chavies community. Once again, welcome a video from Scott Alexander.
Just want to give a huge shout out to Governor Beshear and Team Kentucky for the 5 homes that's going to be out of the floodplain in Chavies. Governor Beshear and Team Kentucky has been with us through both disasters. Helping these families relocate out of harm's way is so critical to the growth of Appalachia. Once again, thank you, Governor, for everything that you've done to continue to work with us through these disasters.
Our partners at the Housing Development Alliance will be building these new homes. They've been amazing friends. They've been amazing partners in the entire rebuilding effort. Just this week, they sent us an update from Chestnut Ridge in Knott County. HDA will have 3 more homes framed, shingled, and sided there this week. All 3 homes are being built using Team Kentucky Disaster Relief Funds. This neighborhood will eventually have about 175 homes on Chestnut Ridge. HDA is partnering with a group called Dream Builders to finish these homes. In Knott County, Dream Builders has 35 volunteers on the ground. 13 of those volunteers are teenagers. What an amazing way to spend a summer break. What a great sign for the future of our country and of our Commonwealth. We have a video from Julia Stanginelli of the Housing Development Alliance.
Hey, Team Kentucky. We at HDA are having a busy summer over here in Hazard, Kentucky. We just started working out at the first phase of the state section of Chestnut Ridge. We've got 3 houses under construction there, and they're all already under roof. And we're gonna have mechanicals installed on the inside soon, so those are coming along. And then we've also been working in Perry County. We've been working with the Perry County local government for a while on a project out in Chavies, where we're gonna be building 5 houses. They're also through disaster recovery in the CDBG-DR program. And we recently found out that application was awarded. And so we're working with FAHI on getting the environmental review all done and everything straightened away so that we can hopefully start building there as well in the coming months.
We plan on having more good news coming soon for our High Ground initiative. Remember, when we are faced with a disaster, we always respond with unity. You see the very best of Kentuckians when we're facing the very worst. And speaking of somebody that helped us through the very worst, today we've got Dr. Stack back with us. As you know, he helped us through the pandemic, explained that virus in a very scary time, helped us develop the right policies to protect so many Kentucky lives. And now he gets to do something a lot more fun. He gets to give us advice on how to be a little healthier, have longer, better lives with our families. Steve?
Thank you, Governor. Perhaps on the eve of a 3-day holiday weekend, admonishing people about healthy diets is not the best timing on my part. But good afternoon, everyone. We are now passing the halfway mark in year 2 of the Our Healthy Kentucky Home campaign. So here in July, I'm going to do a little bit of a look back and reflect on the progress that we've made. So first of all, we launched the campaign first in November of 2025. And we continue to promote from the very beginning all the way through to the present some simple and attainable goals that can help all of us achieve better health and wellness. Those simple and attainable goals are eating at least 2 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, exercising for at least 30 minutes 3 times per week, and engaging with others to stay socially connected. So these goals remain at the heart of the Our Healthy Kentucky Home initiative, and they're helping Kentuckians to take small but meaningful steps towards healthier lifestyles. At the same time, the Our Healthy Kentucky Home initiative continues to connect individuals and families with trusted resources, programs, and services that support health and well-being throughout every stage of life. Over the past several months, we've highlighted a variety of programs and services that improve health outcomes across the Commonwealth, from encouraging healthy eating and active living, supporting mental and emotional wellness, educating about chronic disease prevention, encouraging cancer screenings, and promoting access to healthcare services. We've worked to raise awareness of resources that can help Kentuckians make informed decisions about their health. We've also featured several valuable Kentucky programs and services that provide direct support to individuals and families throughout the Commonwealth. Now, one prominent example of this is the 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline. Our social media and digital lives can hide the reality that all of us struggle from time to time, and that it is okay to not be okay. If you or someone you love is in crisis, you can call or text 988 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to get help. No one should struggle alone. Please reach out and encourage others to do so if we can be of assistance. An additional useful resource is the Office for Children with Special Healthcare Needs, which helps children and their families access specialized care, services, and support to help children with special needs grow, learn, and thrive. The Ocean clinics distributed throughout Kentucky can be a tremendous help to children and their parents to help with a wide array of healthcare services for Kentuckians younger than 21 with special needs. You can learn more by using the QR code on the screen or the website link on the slide. Now, another great example is Connect, Kentucky's one-stop resource for a wide variety of programs and support services, including healthcare coverage, foster care, addiction treatment, assistance for pregnant women, and much, much more. Through Connect, Kentuckians can explore a wide array of programs, including Medicaid, SNAP, WIC, and as I said, many, many more things. I encourage any Kentuckians in need of support to explore the health coverage, benefits, and resource tabs on the Connect website at connect.ky.gov. That's kynect.ky.gov. There are a lot of things there that can be of use. The success of the Our Healthy Kentucky Home initiative is reflected not only in the number of individuals served and reached, but also in the meaningful connections made between Kentuckians and the resources available to support healthier lifestyles. Every conversation, every resource shared, and every step taken towards better health contributes to a stronger and healthier Commonwealth. Through the continued collaboration with partners, community organizations, and healthcare professionals across the state, we can continue to help ensure that every Kentuckian has access to the tools and support needed to achieve better health. Finally, we would like to thank all of our partners, community organizations, healthcare professionals, and each of you for your continued support for the Our Healthy Kentucky Home initiative. Your commitment to improving health across the Commonwealth is making a lasting difference in helping us to improve our new Kentucky home. To learn more about the Our Healthy Kentucky Home initiative and explore the resources featured throughout year 2, please visit ourhealthykyhome.ky.gov and join us in the Our Healthy Kentucky Home journey as we continue together to create healthier homes, healthier communities, and a healthier Kentucky for generations to come. Governor?
All right, this Saturday, we will celebrate 250 years of our democracy on the 4th of July. We have a special celebration taking place right here in Frankfort. We're inviting Kentuckians to join us for Kentucky Celebrates America 250, a free, family-friendly event in downtown Frankfort. It'll take place from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the Kentucky Historical Society campus and will feature a full day of activities for kids of all ages. And of course, there'll be plenty of great Kentucky music. Guests can enjoy performances from Walker Montgomery, Kentucky Blue, the Louisville Orchestra, Dr. Everett McCorvey, and Ben Salee before a great fireworks show. For a full schedule and additional information, you can visit history.ky.gov. Happy 4th of July, everyone. God bless our great country. Finally, we have our Team Kentucky All-Stars this week, our first responders. Today, we're celebrating our brave first responders and all of those who are lending a hand following this last weekend's deadly floods. They are our Team Kentucky All-Stars. From our Swiftwater teams who conducted more than 63 rescues and evacuations to our state and local emergency management, KSP, law enforcement, and more, these teams helped save lives, and we are grateful. After visiting Cumberland County, and let me just say, Cumberland County Judge Executive is on top of this. The mayor of Burkesville on top of it. They have checked home by home, individual by individual. They have shown a ton of care for their community. Let me also say that they are open for business this weekend. This is a critical weekend for Cumberland County, their lakes, their tourism, as well as the city of Burkesville. And if you're looking for something else you can do to help this community, how about you plan your next vacation there? Go down and enjoy the lakes. Go and spend some of your tourism dollars here because, yes, families are going to need to get back on their feet, but this community needs to continue to thrive, and tourism, especially this weekend, is really important to them. Let me also say in Madison County, their judge executive, as we went down the hardest hit parts, could give me a detailed story about every person who lives in them and how he and others have personally checked on them. So this local leadership, all of our emergency management, our fire crews, our state police, local law enforcement, our EMTs, you all are the spirit of Team Kentucky. I have seen you in action. I've seen you after when you're tired because you've given everything that you have. I believe they saved at least 60 plus lives in the response to this natural disaster, and we are grateful. These heroes are true Team Kentucky All-Stars. Congratulations, and thanks for all you're doing. And as a reward to each of you, there will be no Team Kentucky update next week. I know everybody's torn up about that. We'll be back on Thursday, July 16th at 12:30. Until then, we'll be posting great news from across the Commonwealth on my social media channels. All right, we'll turn to questions. We have one journalist in studio. Is it Daquan?
Yes.
Daquan Lee.
Hi, Governor. Appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. I wanted to ask you, I want to get your reaction to the recent primary nominees for Democratic Socialists across the U.S. and New York and in recently Colorado. Given your additional role as the chair of the Democratic Governors Association, where do you see the Democratic base moving, considering these election results to this point, and how do you go about looking for prospective people to run in gubernatorial races or other federal and state races? We have a couple of them here in Louisville, and there's one running opposed for a state senate or state representative seat here in Kentucky as well.
Well, I believe there's lots of room in the Democratic Party for candidates of all types. And ultimately, you got to get out there and you got to win a primary. And these individuals have all done that. I believe that the Democratic base isn't necessarily moving one direction or another. They're just desperate for help. And I think that's the same as the Republican base and others. They're looking for somebody that'll help address a system that feels rigged. And that's because they're working hard. They're playing by the rules, but they're not getting ahead. It seems like all the prices go up, utility bills and the rest, but your pay stays about the same. The cost of health insurance and coverage increasing every single year. I believe that people are winning from across the spectrum when they give voice to these concerns and do it passionately. Show people that they are going to work harder than anybody else that's in that race at trying to address it. Now, I don't necessarily think it's the solutions or proposed solutions that are getting the support, but the belief, the authentic belief that that person cares enough to go to battle and to go to war for you and your family and to help make things less expensive. And so what I look for are people who have that fight in them, that are ready to fight for our people and to push forward. And in the end, we can take a lesson from voters that yes, it's important for us to have our policy papers, but it's a lot more important to have a direct connection and a belief that you're going to make life a little bit better and a little bit easier. Now, the National Republican Party is going to try to scare everyone through this. They're going to try to say communists are coming for you. And of course, that's not true. We need ultimate practical solutions that are going to help our people, but we've got to hear and have all voices that are at the table to try to get those best solutions. All right, online, we got McKenna Horsley.
Thank you, Governor. Can you discuss what kind of conversations, if any, you had with State Fair Board members ahead of yesterday's meeting where they removed David Beck as CEO of Kentucky Venues, and if you support that action?
Well, I support the action they took yesterday. What we got from the Supreme Court is a decision saying that I ultimately am accountable for what the Fair Board and these other boards the legislature tried to make independent do. Like, the buck's got to stop somewhere in the executive branch, and it stops with the governor. You know, there's no fourth branch of government made up of these boards. If I'm going to be accountable, then the person who heads that board and runs that operation has to be willing to be accountable to me and work with me and the various board members, and the individual that is no longer there led a charge to prevent any form of accountability from a governor, was not willing to work with me, and made that pretty clear. With that, I mean, I don't want to look backwards. I want to look forwards. And we are at a really important time for the Fair Board and for Louisville, where we can really step up in class. And this is what I mean. With the Humana project that could create another enormous hotel, we have a chance to land the size of conventions that Louisville has never been able to compete for, and that benefits the entire Commonwealth. But what that takes is more and better communication and cooperation between organizations like the Fair Board that has the Downtown Convention Center, the Louisville CVB, the Arena Authority, and more. And that was a challenge that won't be a challenge now going forward. The interim director, Mike Berry, has those relationships, has led the cabinet that the Fair Board is now attached back to, and I believe can get us through this next period. But remember, the actions that the General Assembly took in trying to take authority away from a governor, and actually they attempted to make it responsible to the legislature, which was also unconstitutional, have created 5 years of actions by an unconstitutional board that we've now got to go back and look at, contracts, budgets. So it's created those actions in the past have created a mess that we're going to work through. But my commitment is you are going to only see an improved operation at the fairgrounds and at the Downtown Convention Center. Mark Stevens from WAVE.
Thank you, Governor. Can you discuss your intention to delay next summer's planned I-65 closure? And if so, if there's any concern about extending the construction cycle or increasing the costs?
We are going to finish that I-65 project this summer. We are going to get it reopened. Listen, I lived in Louisville for 15 years. I get it. And let me say, Louisvillians and the folks that come in to work in Jefferson County are doing a great job. You know, the media's done a good job of getting the word out. I mean, this is a community that's come together that said, ooh, you know, this is a huge project, but it has to be done because these bridges need to be safe. Louisville shouldn't have to go through this again next summer. So I'm certainly not going to let that happen as long as I'm governor. You know, one summer is enough. We'll see if and when work needs to be done in the future, but there's been enough sacrifices by folks in Jefferson County that deserve next summer to not have to deal with this and to be able to travel up and down I-65. Karen Czar.
Thank you, Governor. Governor, do you have the exact number of roads that are still closed due to last weekend's flooding? And in your conversations with the Department of Transportation, how much is the heat hampering repairs and cleanup? Thank you so much.
So we only have a couple of state roads that are still impacted, and I think we got one open yesterday. It was the bridge that I was at in one of those photos. I admit I was only there about 7 minutes, and not because it was hot. It was because they said they thought they could get it reopened that day, which is pretty amazing when you look at it's this bridge. And so the bridge itself hadn't been washed out, but the entire approach on the side where you see all the rubble had been, and they had two big trucks right there and thought by the end of the day that they could have it reopened. So I got out of there and let them get back to work as quickly as I could. Most of the roads that have problems are county roads. There may be some city roads, and we don't have a full account of those. And then you have county bridges, small bridges to get to different houses. And then you have some private ones too. So that's a lot of what we're looking at. In Madison County, we're also going to have to figure out river debris cleanup. And we had to do that in Eastern Kentucky, but it's much more challenging than, say, tornado cleanup where you don't have to get a backhoe in a riverbank. While that did not hit as large of an area as the 2022 Eastern Kentucky floods, the force looked very, very similar, and we're really lucky we didn't lose more people. The heat does not appear to be slowing us down, but I'm telling all of our transportation cabinet employees and everybody else who's out there to take it easy, right? Have water breaks. It's okay if you need to stop. Thankfully, most all of our equipment has air conditioning. Our folks were handling it well, and our supervisors were right there on the ground with folks that day. We preach safety inside the transportation cabinet every single day, and I think it's truly helped to improve the work environment for our folks, but also really comes into play on days like we've had. Phil Pendleton.
Yes, thank you, Governor. Has your office had any communication over the last couple of weeks with Senator McConnell's office? We understand that he's had some health issues that started around the 14th of this month, but not really sure what's happened since then. Any thoughts about what's going on with him and his health and his ability to possibly even serve right now in Washington?
We have received no information. No updates. If there's been any direct outreach, I'm unaware of it. I don't want to speculate about anybody's health. The only things that I know, I've read, and I can't verify. Finally, Isaiah Kim Martinez.
Hey, Governor, appreciate the time. I have a couple questions, one having to do, again, with the State Fair Board. Can you explain exactly where things went wrong? You talked about the head of Kentucky Venues maybe not working with your administration, paraphrasing what you had said, and that you sort of want to step up in class that State Fair. I mean, what are some of the reasons that you felt that change was necessary? And second, more on Mitch McConnell, do you believe his office has been straightforward enough with information?
Well, his office hasn't communicated with me. If he's been in the hospital for several weeks, they need to communicate more directly. I don't even know if he's been in the hospital for several weeks. On the Fair Board, listen, this was an unconstitutional board for 5+ years with a huge budget that is critical to the state. The former head helped lead the charge to make it into an unconstitutional board. So I think it was time for a change. If progress was made, I hope we build on it. If there are stones we need to turn over to see if there were problems, then we need to find that out. In the end, it's been unaccountable. Right? It's been unaccountable to the governor, who has the duty to make sure the law is faithfully executed. And I've got to go in now through appointees and make sure everything is on the up and up. But when we talk about stepping up in class, we're about to get so many more hotel rooms as we look into the future that we could get conventions that would fill up the Yum Center. What does that take? That takes a head out there at the convention center, at the fairgrounds, that can and will directly work with the Arena Authority, that can and will directly work well with Louisville CVB, that it can look like this is just one united group, and that there is not territory. And I think the current interim head, which is Mike Berry, is the exact right person for it. I've worked with him. I've seen how he can bring people together. He has significant experience with the Fair Board, was on the Fair Board for a period of time. He's the right person to lead us forward. And for me, this is about moving forward. It doesn't have to be about yesterday, but it is about tomorrow. And that level of accountability is important. And so I can give my pledge to the people of Kentucky. What you're going to see coming out of there will be better, and you'll be proud of it. It'll serve all of Kentucky. And let me finally say there's something goofy going on in the internet where they say the Fair Board changed its mission and removed agriculture. It's a total lie. I think based on somebody updating a website that we don't even know is connected or not to the Fair Board. The Fair Board met yesterday and took one action and one action alone. So listen, if you want to lie online and spread misinformation, that's on you and shame on you. All right, we will be back in 2 weeks. Everybody be safe over the 4th of July. Happy 250th birthday, America.